Now, make no mistake, what I just explained to you, these gains are not otherworldly. They represent the norm that to be expected when utilizing a properly conducted high-intensity training program. Of course, not every one of you in here will gain that well, although many will. Some of you will gain even more, with the genetically bereft, perhaps not doing quite so well. For those of you who find stories such as these inspirational, you might check out my website at www.mikementzer.com. A number of these success stories have with them the phone numbers of the individuals listed so you can call them and check for authenticity. None of this is lies. If you know nothing about high-intensity training and you hear it's possible to gain 25 pounds in 3 months and almost double your deadlift, it may sound impossible, but it's because you're ignorant at this point. But you don't have to remain ignorant. The following routine, the program you're about to hear listed, is, at least from one perspective, the literal perfect bodybuilding program. If you keep in mind this one thing, that the ideal situation is to be able to stimulate all of the major muscles of the body with the least amount of exercise possible, which is one set. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do but one set. Let me explain. Bearing in mind all the while that, as I stated earlier, the issue of volume, number of sets, is a negative factor, period. Keep that in mind as you hear this. You will perform 2 different workouts referred to as workout A and workout B. You will do 1 workout a week. So if you start on a Saturday, for instance, doesn't have to be a Saturday, with workout A, you wouldn't perform workout B until the next Saturday. And if a scheduling conflict arises, as often happens, don't go back to the 6th day. Don't reduce the frequency. Go to the 8th day. And after 8 or so total workouts, take 2 full weeks off, then resume training once every 9 days. And for the following reason. In fact, this is the most important issue in exercise science once you have first understood what you heard earlier, the fundamentals of intensity, volume, and frequency. After 8 or so total workouts, take 2 weeks off, then resume training once every 9 days for the following reason. You will grow stronger as a result of every workout, without a doubt, unless you're extremely genetically hurting. You will grow stronger as a result of each workout. You will, in other words, audience, be lifting progressively heavier weights all the time. Do you see where it stands to reason, dear listeners, that as the weights grow progressively greater, then the stresses also grow progressively greater too? Does that make sense? If you don't do something to compensate for the ever-growing stress, the stresses will reach a critical point such that they constitute overtraining. The first symptom, of course, will be a slowdown in progress. And if you continue with the same exact volume and frequency protocol, there will ultimately be a complete cessation of progress known as a sticking point. I, like everyone else up until recently, used to believe that you had to reach a sticking point. It was inevitable. Until I realized what I just told you, that if you're lifting progressively heavier weights, then the stresses are growing greater. You've got to compensate for them, or eventually the stresses reach a critical point and they constitute overtraining. This can be prevented by inserting extra rest days and taking layoffs. You should never have to reach a sticking point. In fact, how many of you have been reading the muscle magazines for a long time? How many articles have you seen in the last 20 years where they address the issue of sticking points at all? Not that many. They evade the subject because they have no slightest clue as to how to answer it. If I can honestly say I contributed one meaningful thing to exercise, it's what I just explained to you. that as you get stronger and bigger, you don't do more exercise, you do less, because the stresses are growing greater. In other words, a beginner is too damn weak to overtrain. But as you grow bigger and stronger and you're handling 500-pound squats, you can overtrain very easily. So you don't train more as you grow bigger and stronger, you train less, and you'll keep growing. All right, let's move to the workout. Workout A will consist of, number one, a set of squats, preferably on a Smith machine, 8 to 15 reps to failure. If you don't have a Smith machine, don't worry about it. Just do regular old-fashioned free weight squats. After that, take a brief rest. Get a drink of water. Let your breathing slow down. As soon as you clearly recognize you're ready to go, boom, you go to exercise number 2, close grip, palms up, pull downs for 6 to 10 reps to failure. Now, by close grip, I mean your grip should be about 8 inches apart, your hands. Palms up. This is palms up, not palms down, like a barbell curl grip. Close grip, palms up, pull downs, 6 to 10 reps to failure, or thereabouts. By the way, when I say 8 to 15 for the squats, or 6 to 10 for the pull downs, that's not a magic range or number. If you remember, the important thing is going to failure. If you get to 15 reps on the squat and you see you have 18, don't stop at 15. Remember, the stimulus responsible for triggering growth is that last hard, almost impossible rep. Be sure to initiate this movement, the pull downs, with extreme deliberation. There should be no sudden jerking, yanking, or thrusting to get the weight started and to keep it moving. Not super slow, but relatively slow. Not 10 seconds up and 10 seconds down. In fact, the keynote here is there's no magic number of seconds. The keynote is control. You want to lift the weight under full muscular control, pause momentarily in the contracted position or for 2 to 3 seconds, and lower under control. I have discovered recently through my own workouts that this usually translates into a 4-2-4 cadence. 4 seconds down, 2 seconds hold, and 4 seconds up. But if you're off by 0.4 seconds or 1.2, don't worry about it too much. And that is all for workout A, just 2 sets of 1 exercise each. 1 week later, you'll perform workout B, which will consist of, number 1, a set of regular, not stiff-legged or sumo, but regular old-fashioned power lifter deadlifts for 5 to 8 reps to failure. Now, if there is one exercise I'd like to see you fall in love with, audience, it's this one. As the deadlift is properly regarded by most as the greatest overall strength and mass builder. However, there is a risk factor seen with the deadlift you don't see with a lot of other exercises. Listen carefully, please, as I explain proper form. Or did you do that?